welcome back to my channel. Yeah, I know it's been a minute, right? Yeah, a lot of things have been happening here, which is taking me away from the cameras. But because of your questions, I'm here today because I've been having a lot of questions. People want to move from Ghana or wherever they are to Portugal, and they are asking a lot of questions. So I decided to come up, show myself again, and then help you with the process. So today we're talking about how to move from Ghana to Portugal as a student. Bear in mind there are other ways or channels through which you can come to Portugal, or you can move from where you are to Portugal. But today specifically I'm talking about moving from your home country to Portugal as a student. Right? So we are focusing on as a student today. Specifically again for or to pursue your masters. Right, okay. Yes, there are other courses that you can pursue, your HND, your bachelor's and all that. But I feel it's easier to come and pursue your masters because you have a lot of courses or a lot of subjects taught in English for masters. But for the HND and for the degrees, I'm not so sure. There are limited courses that are taught in English. So it will be best when you're coming for your masters, right? That is to me. But if you want to come as first degree or something, I think you can also look into that more. Yeah. So to start with, we'll start with getting the school. Once you made up your mind to move from where you are or your home country, Ghana, Nigeria, and wherever to Portugal, you have to start searching for school. That's the most important part. Search for schools. Make your inquiries, go to Google, just type in schools in Portugal or something like that. Yeah, then they'll give you a number of schools. You find a school and then you go to your website. But let me take it slow. So there are a number of schools here, and when searching for schools, since Portugal is not an English-speaking country, I'd advise that you specify that schools in Portugal with English taught programs, or with English taught courses, or with courses taught in English, however you want to structure the sentence. But you should make sure that you mention English taught programs in your search, so that it will just take you to the schools that have those English taught programs. Right, so you go to the school's website, you find some, go to the school's website. Even when you go to the school's website, you should still check, right? Double check to know that those courses that you are choosing are taught in English, because for master's program, there are a lot of master's programs that they are offering in the schools. So you need to check that the particular one that you're going for is taught in English. You can equally choose, maybe the course that you want is taught in Portuguese and you are so passionate about the course, you can still go for it. But you're going to struggle a little because you don't understand Portuguese. But thankfully for Google Translate, you can use it. It's going to be a little stressful, but it's not impossible. You can try that as well. I know people that have tried that and it's working for them. So if you think you can do that, you can still go for the course of your choice and then use Google Translate and other materials to help you get through it, right? Okay, so for the schools, I'm going to list a couple of schools here in Portugal for you, so that it will be easier with their links, so that it will be easier for you to search for them. But you can also do your own search as well, right? Okay, so then again, when you're searching for schools, depending on your budget, right? There are schools here in Portugal that are a little expensive, but in general, like comparing Portugal to Europe, the whole of Europe and other places, America, Canada, yes, we would say Portugal is relatively cheaper. True, that's very true. But even when you come into Portugal, you realize that there are some schools that are higher, some schools that are lower, right, in terms of fees. So if your budget is low, you search for schools that the fees are not too much. I think you can get schools from around 1,000 euros per year to about 6,000 or 9,000, yeah, depending on the schools you choose. So after you decided on the school, you go to their website, then you go through their requirements, you go through their fees, then you would know how much the school fees is. If it's something you can do, then you go ahead. If it's not something you can do, you search for another alternative with a lower school fees. Okay, so now the best part is the school fees is paid in installments. So if your school fees is let's say 2,000 euros for the 2 years, you're going to pay in 10 installments. So 10 installments meaning every month you're going to pay like 200 euros every month. And I think that is cool. So imagine you choose a school that is like let's say, yeah, the example I took, 2,000 euros for the 2 years, and you're paying 200 euros a month. I mean, for 10 consecutive times, then I think it's so doable, right? So yeah, so the first point is searching for the school, English. There are certain schools that have a little different requirements, but most of the schools have the same requirement. For my school, for instance, and I think many other schools as well, all you need to apply is your transcripts, your certificates, CV, and motivation letter, plus a copy of your passport, of course, right? So these 5 documents plus your application fee. Now application fee differs per school, but it's not that expensive. I think mine was around was it 50 to 70 euro? I forgot it was around 50 to 70 euros for the application fee. Yeah. So these are the only things you need to apply for the schools or to apply to the schools. But there are a few schools that you would require a few more things. But in general, this is what the schools need. So you go to the school's website, make sure you check their requirements. Okay, now not just your transcript and your certificate, you need to authenticate your certificates. You need to authenticate your certificates from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because they need to know that your results are verified, they are authentic before you apply. So you need to verify or authenticate your documents from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before you apply to the schools. There are a few schools again that will require that you verify. After you've done all this, you verify it from the Portuguese embassy. With that, then it means after you legalize it from the Ministry of Education, you send your documents back to the embassy for them to also verify it first before you can apply to those schools. So you have to bear that in mind and check out on that school. Not all schools do, but some schools do. Okay, so after you have these documents down, then you can go ahead and apply to the schools. Now the schools, most of the schools here in Portugal have 3 phases, right? 3 admission phases. So we have the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. The first phase, yes, everybody, they have limited slots. So if the slots for the first phase are not filled, then they'll go for a second phase. So when the second phase too is not filled, then they'll go for a third phase, right? So but usually you go through all the 3 phases. So if you are not able to apply during the first phase, you have 2 more phases to try. But if all things being equal for you, I prefer you go for the first phase, right? So try the first phase. But if you don't get the first phase, or if for some reasons you couldn't enter the first phase, you can enter the second or the third phase. So bear that in mind. Again, all this information is on the school's website. So you go there and then you check the admission phases and the dates, because they're not all the same date. There are different. Some start in February, some in April, and all that. So you check the dates and see which one that you can enter. Okay. So yeah, we've spoken about. So the second thing is your documents for the visa process. That is after you've gotten your admission. So after you've gotten your admission, you go to the embassy. You're going to give you the requirement or the list of things to bring. There's a number of lists, so I would list everything here so that you would find it easy as well. So offhand, I think you need your transcripts, your passport pictures. Yes, you need to send passport pictures. You need a copy of the data page of your passport as well as your passport itself. You need proof of funds. Now the proof of funds, I'm sure a lot of people would be thinking, what if I don't have money? Well, if you don't have money, you can use a sponsor, right? You can always use a sponsor. But if someone is sponsoring you, the person should write a sponsorship letter that, okay, my name is this, I'm the one sponsoring my niece, my child, yeah, so that you would attach it to your document when applying for the visa, that somebody is sponsoring you. Nonetheless, even if somebody is sponsoring you, you also need to have some money in your account, right? You also need to have some money in your account. But the money in your account shouldn't be deposited when you know that you've got an admission, so you're going to apply for visa. Then you go look for some huge money and then deposit in your account. No. The moment you plan that you want to travel or you want to go somewhere else for school, that moment you should be running your account. The money doesn't necessarily need to be sitting in the account. You just be running the account, right? Running the account meaning money should be going in and coming out, going in and coming out, going in and coming out frequently, so that they will know that you have an active account. So you should start planning all that before you even think of applying to the school, because it will take you like almost a year or something, a year or less to prepare for all this. So if you have an active account through that period, when you show it up, you'll know that yes, you have like 10 pages of accounts, right, to show, but they only require 3 months of your bank statements, 3 months of bank statements. But if it's active from 3 months, you would know. So the money you should have in your account, like if you are using a sponsor, should be about I don't know for now, but it should be about, if you have, I think 30 to 50,000 in your account, I think it will be okay. It will be okay. But if you're using a sponsor, your account doesn't really matter, but it matters too, because what if the sponsor, they will have questions in their head. What if the sponsor doesn't show up? What if the sponsor dies or something? And at least you should have something that you yourself you can use, not much, but something that you can survive on when you come here as well. So you should have something like that. But if you are not using a sponsor and you are sponsoring yourself, the money you should have in your account, the last time I checked, should be about 8,000 euros, right? 8,000 euros in your account if you're not using a sponsor. That is how much you should have in your personal account to show that yes, you can take care of yourself during your stay here. All they need to know is that you can take care of yourself during your stay here, right? Now, if you're a student, you're coming as a student, a master student, and you want to come with your spouse, then you should have about 12,000 in your account, 12,000 euros in your account. Now, you want to come with your spouse plus your child, you should have about 16,000 euros in your account. You can still go to their website and check all of these, but I'm just giving you the heads up on some of these things so you plan towards it. So yes, it is possible for you to come with your spouse, with your family. It all depends on the money you have in account. They want to see that you have money in your account, that when you come, you'll be able to survive. So if you have the money, fair enough, they can't deny you the visa, right? Okay, so the documents, like I said, your transcripts, your birth certificates, yes, you should add your birth certificates, your transcript, your birth certificate, your school certificates should be verified, legalized and authenticated by the ministry, all the various ministries, and especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You have to do this before you send your document to apply for the visa. You do for the school, and for the school with your certificates and your transcript. But for the embassy, you have to add your birth certificate as well to it, as well as I think police character. Police character is a document where you go to the police service for them to give you the certificate that you're not a criminal, you don't have any criminal record or anything like that, right? So they will give you that paper or form, whatever, that you don't have any criminal record. You send that as well to the embassy. Now there is another document, which is insurance, travel insurance. You need to have a 1 year travel insurance, part of the document. I'm going to list everything though, but the ones I'm remembering, I'm just mentioning them. So a travel insurance. Now I know a lot of people, because when I was doing mine, I was having challenges thinking, how do I do travel insurance? Where do I go travel insurance? Yes, but I think I did mine at Alliance. Yeah, so you can go to Alliance or any other travel insurance company that can help you. You do a travel insurance for 1 year, right? And then the certificate they give you, or the receipt or printout they give you, you attach that to your document to the embassy. And then you have to do your clinicals, like you have to do your blood test checks and all that. Yes, I'll list all that in the list, so you know what to do. And then one important thing, or one thing that I found very difficult during my time was, oh my god, guys, sorry for the noise, right? I live very close to the station, so you have a lot of noise. Okay, so one very important thing that to me I found it difficult whilst applying was flight reservation, right? Flight and accommodation reservation. Oh my god, I was like, I have not had my visa yet, so why should I book flights, right? Yes, that would be your question when you try it as well. I have not had my visa, so why should I even book flights? When do I know, like, when am I even going? When is my visa coming? So why should I even book a flight? Yes, that is one question that you ask yourself. But there's something called dummy tickets. Yes, you can use a dummy ticket, which is not the actual you actually buying the ticket, but it's just a dummy serving as you plan on buying the ticket or something like that. So that would be, if you want that video, if you want me to talk more on that, maybe you can leave me a comment there, then I'll know and then make a video on that. So you add all these documents plus a certain amount of money. Now the amount of money is a lot, because Ghana, we don't have an embassy in Ghana. We have a Portuguese embassy in Ghana. We only have a consulate. So meaning all our documents are processed in Nigeria. So they charge you for probably the cost of sending your documents to Nigeria and back, Nigeria to Portugal and back, right? So from Ghana, the cost is a little. I think you would pay, is it 150 cedis, 270 euros, 100 and something dollars. Yes. It's like in those equivalent denomination. I mean, it was so funny. But when you go to the embassy, I can't give those prices to you now because I don't know if there's been changes. But when you go to the embassy, they'll give you a list of all the things that I've mentioned, all the documents you're supposed to require, and then even the money that you would need to add. That money, you will add that money to your documents, all your documents plus the money on the day that you are going to apply for your visa, right? Or you're going to the embassy to submit your documents to apply for visa. You add everything plus the money to the consulate office. Okay, so one important document I forgot is for you to also download the visa application form. I think I had downloaded it and I filled it, but when I got to the consulate too, they gave me one to fill. So, but to be on the safer side, just download it. It's free. Just download it and then fill it so that you know how to fill it before you even get to the consulate. So, download the application, visa application for Portugal. search for it, download it, and fill it by yourself. Add all these documents. Then you go to the consulate. The consulate is in Temakomtitiwi. So if you don't know, that's where it is. Temakomtitiwi. Is it 30, 36? Sorry, I've forgotten, but I know it's in Temakomtitiwi. When you Google it, you find it, right? Okay. So the next point, I think I have spoken enough about it. So the cost of living after you've gotten your visa and everything, you book your tickets and you pack your stuff and you decide to head towards Portugal. Now the cost of living here, like I always say, or I said in my previous video, you need to budget for at least 6 to 8 months, right, of your living here. That includes your rents, that includes your school fees, that includes your how do I put it? Your feeding fee or miscellaneous, right? So you need to factor in all that. So for like 6 to 8 months, budgets that have that money with you before you come. Because Portugal is not a place that when you come in like 1 month, 2 months, you're going to get a job, right? Unless you are in the cities. If your school is in the big cities like Lisbon, Porto, yes, we guarantee that in 1, 2 months, 3 months you get a job. But if your school is not in those cities and they are in the smaller towns, then it would take you like 6 to 8 months before getting a job. So if during that time you don't have a job and you don't have money, how are you going to survive, right? And rent is not cheap here too. You can get a single bed or in a shared apartment. If you want a room to yourself, you should be budgeting from 350 to 400 euros per month. If you are sharing a room, you should be budgeting from 250, from 200 to 250. That is, you're sharing a room with someone. There are hostels too as well that have their own prices as well, but the prices fall within this range. So you need to have that money for 6 months or 8 months budgeted down, plus your feeding fee, your transportation and all that factored into it. So have that money at least saved for that 6 months before you come. Okay. Leaving you with a little advice that I can give now that you're not yet here and you're planning to come. I'd advise that you get a skill, right? You get a skill, learn something. You know, we are in the IT age now. Everybody is into IT, and they are amongst the highest paying jobs anywhere in the world. So as you are there, learn something IT, get into IT, because those are the skills that when you get here, you're going to easily get a job. Not just here, I think anywhere in the world. So don't be like some of us, right? Learn some skill in IT so that when you come, it will be easier for you to get a good job, like a good paying job here. And then also aside that, you can also start learning a skill as in handiwork, right? If you can learn barbering, or if you're a guy you can barb. If you're a woman, you can learn how to braid hair or make hair. That would also help you a lot to get these menial jobs faster. You can get a hairdresser's job or something faster. So you can also start learning that. And most importantly, you should start learning the language, right? Because here they speak English, alright, but the percentage of people that speak English is like this. So usually, most of the time, everybody is conversating in Portuguese, right? So if you are planning on getting a job faster, one of the requirements is for you to speak Portuguese. So as you are there, start learning Portuguese. You can use Duolingo to learn Portuguese. That Duolingo gives you Brazilian Portuguese, not Portuguese, but the Brazilian Portuguese is closer to the European Portuguese, so it would give you like a heads up. It would really help you. So start learning it before you get here, and I promise you it will be very, very useful. So I'm going to link, or I'm going to put down some of the links to the universities, to the schools, and also the documents needed for the application of the visa as well. All right, so if you have any other question, please leave me a comment. I will definitely answer. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any other inquiry, something that you want me to talk about, or you want me to give further explanation, you can still leave me a comment and I'll definitely talk about it. I mean, my fellow Ghanaians, my fellow Ghanaians reminds me of somebody. Somebody's always saying my fellow Ghanaians. Okay, my fellow Ghanaians. I mean, I know a lot of, like, we Africans, we're trying to jackpot, right? Everybody is running away because things are hard. Yes, and looking at the number of Ghanaians here, we are not much because of various reasons. But I would encourage you to try and come, because now that it's very easy to come, now that they don't have strict rules, because gradually this year alone they've started tightening their rules and trying to narrow the gateway. So please make up your mind and hurry before the gate closes, right? You know, Portugal visa is one of the top 10 visas ranked worldwide, right? And if you have it, there are so many advantages, not just the visa. When you get their passport, there are so many advantages, which I'm going to try and do that in a separate video. But please try and come. It's not a bad country, but it can be your first step to somewhere else. So take advantage of it now. It is stress-free. The process I went through to get here, it was like stress-free. It's not as stressful as some other countries that you have to be waiting for years and going through all sorts of hullabaloos, right? So try and come. Make up your mind and come. And with regards to your document legalization and authentication, if you need help with that, you can also leave me a comment. I have someone that can help you. All right. Okay. So thank you so much for being with me and watching me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I pray that you continue to keep watching, and I'll try my best. I promise, to bring you more videos. Please share this video to people that you think it can help, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Mwah. Bye.